Hello everyone, this is Devin Thorpe. I'm a Forbes contributor covering social entrepreneurship and impact investing, and we have a tremendous group today of social entrepreneurs with us to talk to us. We have Eric Harr, the CEO and co-founder of Make a Stand, Inc., along with his 10-year-old boss, Vivienne Harr, who is the chairwoman, she helped me remember, of Make a Stand, Inc., and a remarkable woman we've met with before. And then we also have Olga Murray, who is the founder of the Nepal Youth Foundation. Olga, thank you for joining us. Vivienne, Eric, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, it's an honor.
Now, Olga, before we get anyone too distracted with your reluctance to look at the camera, we should probably tell people that you had a little surgery yesterday and you're feeling a little self-conscious. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, so we can hear you, and we're grateful that you would take the time out of your busy schedule a day after surgery to come visit with us. So thank you very much for doing that. We appreciate this. Now, Vivienne has been an advocate for ending child slavery for a long time out of her relatively young age. So nearly 20% of her life has already been spent on fighting child slavery. That's almost as much as the proportion of your life that you've spent, Olga, on the same thing.
Yes, we began our program to free little girls in Nepal from kitchen slavery in 2000. So I've been at it for 14 years.
Yeah. What remarkable work. So, Olga, continue your story. Tell us how you began your work to end child slavery in Nepal.
Well, actually, it was a newspaper article that someone on our staff, Sompanaru, saw, saying that January was coming and this particular festival called Maghe Sakrante, and the labor contractors were coming to West Nepal to bring Taru girls to Kathmandu and other cities to basically work as kitchen slaves. Their parents sold them for $40, $50, $60 a year, and they went to the homes of strangers. Some of them were only 7, 8, 9 years old, and they basically spent their childhoods there. They didn't go to school. They were very frequently abused in every way, and we were so shocked. We didn't know about this practice, and we determined to try to eradicate it. So with the local community, we came up with a solution, which was the families needed the money that they got for the girls' labor. That was pretty clear. And so in talking to the women of the village, the women said, whatever you do, if we bring our girls home, do not give our husbands money, because alcoholism was rife in the area. And so they came up with a solution. Every family that would bring their girl home would get a baby piglet. And they could raise a piglet, and at the end of the year, they could sell it for about as much as they got for their daughter's labor. And in the meantime, we put the girl in school, and we started this very, very dynamic and energetic awareness campaign to turn the community against the practice. And the result has been we've brought home almost 13,000 girls. And we have eradicated the practice. The community is now dead set against it. The government has passed laws, and it's finished.
It's amazing. That is amazing to think that you've had such an impact. Vivienne, remind us of the story that got you so fired up about ending child slavery. Can you remember how that happened?
Yeah, quite clearly, actually. So I was in a gallery in Sonoma. Well, not me. My parents were in a gallery in Sonoma, and they saw a photo of two people, well, two children in slavery, basically. And so they brought the book home to me, and I said, this is terribly wrong, and this can't happen. And so I decided to make a stand. And yeah, that was my dog. I'm sorry.
So what did you do?
I set up my lemonade stand and Yeah. And
How much money did you raise that first year you were working on this?
oh boy. Well, with the first day I raised about $80. So, yeah, that wasn't exactly successful. Well, I guess it was, but not as successful as I was hoping it would be. You know, because I'm a little busy.
By the end of the first year, how much money had you raised?
I don't know what he does, though.
$101,000.
$101,000, what he said.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And then what's grown out of that, Eric, tell us a little bit about Make a Stand, Inc.
Yeah, so she reached her goal in Times Square, actually. We were in Times Square in the middle of winter, Devin, and it was freezing cold, and she was selling cold lemonade, and under the invitation of Mayor Bloomberg, she reached her goal, and we said, you did it, you're done, and she said, is child slavery done? Probably has a very similar spirit to Olga, where this problem is not over until it's over. And we said, it's not done, and she said, then I'm not done. So we decided to bottle her lemonade, and now it is sold across America, and these bottles of hope are moving across the country. We set up a social purpose company, a B Corporation, as you probably know, Devin. You're such a great advocate for social impact brands. And so we decided to harness the engine of business to really start to chip away at this problem and give a percentage of gross revenues to really worthy organizations that do the most documented work in eradicating child slavery. And the Nepal Youth Foundation is at the very top of that list. They are unimpeachable in their record. You heard from Olga, 13,000 girls. And I was at her birthday party the other day, and she said, and there's 300 more, and we're going to find them. And I believe her. So companies like us want to give as much money and awareness to people like Olga and her great organization as we can.
Yeah.
Well, that's really tremendous. Olga, how did you first connect with Vivienne?
Well, they were making a very nice movie. I think it was called Make a Stand, about Vivienne. And the filmmakers had heard about us and called and said, would you like to meet Vivienne? We'd like to come and film you together. An 89-year-old and a 9-year-old. And so they came to my house in Sausalito, and that was the first time we met.
Oh, that's remarkable. Well, tell us a little bit about how you got the work done, Olga. You freed 13,000 slaves. You've essentially eradicated the practice of this child slavery in Nepal. How did you do it?
Well, I have to give all the credit to our executive director in Nepal, Sompaner, our president, and the staff there. They're resourceful, dedicated, passionate about this custom. What we did was we enlisted the returned girls themselves. That was our secret weapon. After they came back, we gave them empowerment training. You have a right not to be enslaved. You have a right to go to school. And we gave them all kinds of training, and they became so activist. They went on demonstrations, and they forced the government to pass laws to eradicate the custom. And now it's pretty much over. There were 18,000 to 20,000 girls when we started, and we're down to 300. And one of our efforts now is some of these girls, when they came back, they spent their entire childhoods in slavery. They were 15, 16, 17 years old, and they didn't want to go to school and start in first grade. And so we gave them literacy training, and then we're putting them into vocational training. And they have started, we've helped them to start these cooperatives under which they lend money to the different girls, and they start their small businesses, some of which have been extremely successful. And we're in the process of a campaign now to try to add to that fund, because there are hundreds of girls waiting to start their own businesses. They support themselves in college through these businesses. They help their families, and it's been a tremendous, tremendous success. So
you're not just eliminating slavery, but you're lifting people or helping people lift themselves out of a poverty situation.
Yes, that's how you have to do it. If we had brought these girls home, 13, 14, the families would have married them off right away because they couldn't afford to support them. And so our duty, our motto is we finish what we start. And it wasn't just enough to bring these girls home and put them in school at our expense at first. We paid the school expenses for thousands and thousands of girls. But we had to find a way for them to become economically independent once they finished school. Or if they didn't go to school, then they went to a literacy class, and then they started their businesses. And we've had some tremendously successful businesses. So we tried to train for unconventional jobs because they're the ones that are the most profitable. So we have trained the only woman motorcycle mechanic in Nepal, and she has 2 male employees. And some of the successes have been tremendous.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Not just bringing them home. It's doing something to make a life for them after they've gotten home, so they're not a burden to their families.
Sure. Now, Eric, as you look at what Olga's been doing, what do you see as the ability? Is there an ability to take the model she's created and apply it to other countries in the world that are experiencing similar tragedies in child slavery?
I think Olga and her work at the Nepal Youth Foundation serve as a beacon that shines bright for the world to see. I really do. And it's why we stand with her and the great work Robin Woodland does over there. We love you, Robin. And the whole team, Sam. They are a beacon, and they have shown how to succeed and how to win. And I think the world needs to look at this organization and give them the resources they need. They need to give their money and their generosity and their time to the Nepal Youth Foundation. We are doing that because they represent a scalable model of success. If other groups in other countries were to look at the work and the blueprint for freedom that they have written in Nepal, it's certainly something that can be repeated, and that's why we need to give the Nepal Youth Foundation everything they need to succeed and eradicate child slavery in Nepal, and then just move country to country. Right, Olga?
Yeah. Right. Hooray! Good speech. This custom exists in Haiti, in India, in various countries in Africa, and this is a model. The context is different in every country, but I think people in those countries can use the same model to free their little child slaves there as well.
It's tragic to think of little girls like Vivienne being in slavery. Vivienne, you really seem to empathize with the children in the world that are your age and that are in that situation. How do you connect with them when they're in such a different position? What was it that allowed you to feel that compassion for them?
Well, I've always been really compassionate. I think a lot of my friends know that, and sometimes they're like, they like it, but yeah. So anyways, I just think that it's so wrong. But yeah, you know, most kids wouldn't like stand up for this, but because they'd be, not that they're bad or anything, but I mean, I don't know. I have this passion, and I don't know where it comes from.
Well, that's a good enough answer for me. You certainly have a passion for this, and we are thrilled that you do. We're thrilled that you do, and you really have become an inspiration to the world. And Olga, we're so grateful that you are engaged in this work. Eric, why don't you take a minute and tell us a little bit more about how people can find Make a Stand lemonade in the grocery store?
Yeah, if you go to makeastand.com,
and you can order our lemonade.
You can order our lemonade online. There's a store locator. If you go to makeastand.com and you can click on the store locator and you can see if it's in your town. If it's not, you can ask for it. And 5% of all of our gross revenues go to companies like the Nepal Youth Foundation. And so it's just a great thing. Thank you.
Yeah, the rather indecorous of me, but I just remembered that I have my sample bottle of Make a Stand lemonade right here. So
wow.
It's we're thrilled to encourage people to support you. And Olga, has Make a Stand been a good partner for you in this effort?
They are excellent partners. They are helping us to raise a fund now for the co-ops, and they're very enthusiastic, and I just enjoy Vivienne so much. Every contact I've had with her has left me feeling really upbeat and happy, and we couldn't ask for a better partner.
That's great. Now, how much more money do you need for your fund, Olga?
We're trying to raise $40,000, and the girls will match with their own savings, like 10 cents at a time, 15 cents a week. They'll match that with their own savings, and so we're trying to raise $40,000 to match their $40,000.
Okay. And how long have you been working at the $40,000 goal?
About just a couple of weeks.
Okay. And how's it going so far?
It's going pretty well, I think. I think it's going pretty well. I hope we reach that goal.
We're about halfway.
We're about halfway.
Wow, that's great.
Wow.
That's tremendous. Well, I hope that there are some listeners here today that will participate. Now, Eric, I think you've been working on a new app that would help people make donations to this cause. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I can tell you about it, too.
Oh, please do, Vivienne.
Okay. So, it's a new mobile technology that lets anyone, anywhere, make a stand for whatever they want. And so basically how it works is you pick your cause. No, wait. You pick your cause, you take a photo, and you raise your goal. You raise the money, and it's just really, I really like it. I really love the idea of it, and I hope people will too.
It's mobile crowdfunding, Devin. It's
mobile funding! Yay!
It's right in your world. We decided to take crowdfunding and make it mobile so that anyone can launch a crowdfunding campaign from their mobile device in 30 seconds. And our first campaign is for this co-op, for the Nepal Youth Foundation. If you go to makeastandapp.com, the mobile app's not ready, but the web app is, and you can donate to the campaign there. The Make a Stand Foundation is matching everything that people give at Make a Stand app. If you click the photo of the girl, the Kamlari girl, it's the first campaign you see, you can give right there. And it's crowdfunding, so it's right in your wheelhouse, Devin.
That's fantastic. Well, I really thank you all for the time that you've spent with us today. I'm reminded by Eric, your comment that this is right in my wheelhouse, that our first association began when I wrote the book Crowdfunding for Social Good, and Vivienne is featured in that book, and like to think that we became friends at that point, but Vivienne has continued to be an inspiration to me and to others. Olga, it's great to make your acquaintance. You too are an inspiration, and no less than Vivienne. You're a wonderful woman, and we're grateful for all the good work you're doing.
Thank you. By the way, freedomloanfund.org is the website where people can give.
I was just going to ask you about that. So freedomloanfund.org is where people can go to make a donation to this loan fund for the co-ops in Nepal, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And Eric, again, what's the URL for the new app that you're developing? Make a Stand.
Make a Stand app.
MakeAStandApp.com.
That's right, Devin.
All righty, and the store locator is at MakeAStand.com, right?
Right. Thanks, Devin. Yeah.
All righty. Well, thank you all for being here with me today. It's great to connect again, and I appreciate the good work you're all doing.
We love you.
Love you. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's do some good.